Hello everyone, very good evening. Welcome to Olive Board. My name is Varsha Dhiman, and in this particular lecture, we are going to cover the current affair events related to agriculture and rural development portion that happened from 22nd of November till 28th of November, right? So the aspirants who are there in the class, please let me know that the voice is okay and the screen is also clearly visible to you, right? Am I clearly audible and visible to everyone who are there in the class? So this session is very, very important and it will help you to cover so many important questions that are about to be asked in the upcoming NABARD Grade A examination. Okay, so there are so many important datas and important events happened in this week. Yeah. Yes, very good afternoon, very good evening, Shaurya, Aju. Am I clearly audible to everyone? And please make sure that this class will be shared among your friends also so that they will also become the part of the class, right? So let's start our today's very important discussion now. Yeah. So here we have to start with so before starting our today's session, what you can do, yeah, Nitesh, Devanshi are there. Yeah. So firstly, what you can do, you can download the application of Olive Board so that you can take the PDF of the classes and as well as you will get the important courses that will help you to do your better preparation for the other and the NABARD grade examination as well, right? And here you have this important revision batch available for you on the application. Be the part of this batch and start your preparations with us. So, yeah, there was an announcement for 6th International Agronomy Congress on 22nd of November. Although we will also discuss the key features and the key points discussed during that congress, but I had specifically mentioned about it here as well, right? So this is the 6th International Agronomy Congress, okay, where it held at NASC New Delhi, okay. And who is Dr. Mangilal Jatt? He is a secretary of DARE, okay, Department of Agriculture, Research and Education, and he is also the Director General of ICAR. Okay, so during that Congress, he outlined that India's record food grain production of 357.73 million tons and 95% reduction in crop residues burning since 2020. Okay, so this data is important. As per the Director General of ICR. So, what is the recorded food grain production of India? It is 357.73 million ton. Okay, so this is the first important news. And what is the theme of this Congress? Re-envisioning agronomy for smart agri-food systems and environmental stewardship. Look at the terms. Agronomy is specifically highlighted because it is obviously it is an international agronomy congress, so agronomy should be highlighted. Now, what is agronomy? Okay, it is about the field management. Okay, the crop, the soil, the water, all the different components that you need for your crop production should be managed properly so that you will get the good production in return. Okay, smart agri food system. So under the smart agri food system, we are not talking about the agriculture practices only, we are talking about the integrated farming practices only. And environmental stewardship, like who we are the stewards, like we are the one who are supervising the different roles. Okay, so this particular time, this International Economic Congress is specifically emphasizing on smart agri-food system and environmental stewardship, underscoring its relevance in promoting resilience, efficiency, and ecological balance within agriculture. Okay, so this is first important point from today's session, right? Now, moving ahead, so we all know that we all know about the pollution. Okay, we all know about the AQI, the Air Quality Index of Delhi and the NCR region, right? So Central Pollution Control Board recently updated that what is the AQI of Delhi. So with all these informations and the facts in mind, okay, CAQM revises the GRAP schedule. making it more stringent to prevent further deterioration of air quality in Delhi NCR. Okay, so when the situations become more worse, system have to come ahead to look after it properly so that the things can be changed further, right? So the Commission for Air Quality Management, CAQM, in Delhi NCR and adjoining areas has revised graded response action plan for the entire NCR. And when it was done on 21st of November 2025. What is GRAP? Okay, so GRAP is Graded Response Action Plan. Like you might have heard about this particular thing so many times in the recent time. GRAP stage 2, stage 1. So what is actually it? Okay, what we talk about, what we mentioned when we talk about the GRAP. So it's an emergency response mechanism. Okay, for entire NCR, and it is based on average air quality index level and forecast for meteorological or weather conditions in Delhi that brings together multiple stakeholders. Stakeholders, you know the meaning of stakeholders, like all the individuals, implementing agencies, authorities in NCR, they are coming forward to respond to situations so that the situations and the air quality will not deteriorate further in Delhi NCR. Okay, so GRAP for NCR, that graded action plan for NCR has been formulated after careful. So after considering all the scientific data, stakeholders consultations, expert recommendations, and the field experiences and the learnings in the past years, we come forward with the new formulations in this graded response action plan. And what are these? The following measures currently under GRAP stage 2 to be taken under GRAP stage 1. Okay, so stage 1, like poor air quality if there. So Delhi AQI, if it is ranging from 2001 to 300, sorry, 2000, so it's very high, right? 201 to 300. If the air quality index value, average air quality index value of Delhi is in this range, okay? So what kind of measures we need to take? Ensure uninterrupted power supply to discourage use of alternate power generating set or equipments like DG sets. Okay, like will not depend upon generators. So every time the power supply should be proper. Synchronize traffic movements and deploy adequate personnel at intersections or traffic congestion points for smooth flow of traffic. Alerts in newspapers, TV, radios to advise people about air pollution level and do's and don'ts for minimizing polluting activities. Augment public transport services through CNG, electric buses, metro services by inducting additional fleet and increasing the frequency of service. Introduce differential rates to encourage off peak level. Okay, so these are certain steps that are decided. Like if the air quality of Delhi is poor under the stage 1, so these steps need to be taken ahead. On the other hand, if it is observed that air quality is very poor, okay, so under this situation, GNCTD and NCR state governments to stagger timings for public offices and municipal bodies in the NCT of Delhi and the districts of Gurugram, Faridabad, Ghaziabad, and Gautam Budh Nagar. Okay, state governments may take a decision to stagger timings for public offices and municipal bodies in other areas of NCR. Central government may take a decision on staggering of timings of central government's offices. So you might have heard about these articles, you might have read these articles, like certain new guidelines are released. Okay, like now most of the offices will work with their 50% capacity. Okay, and whosoever are moving out of their house, they have to wear the proper mask and they should use the public vehicles which are running on CNG, electric, and the metro buses, so that in this manner, like we can move ahead. Like if the traffic will be controlled and other such activities which are the major causes of air pollution, if they will be controlled, so definitely we will be able to shift the air quality index towards a good level. Okay, another is severe, Okay, so like most of the public, municipal, and private offices to work on 50% their strength and the rest to work from home. Central government may take appropriate decisions on permitting work from home for employees in central government offices. Okay, so these are some news articles related to this. Now, see, if we talk about the air quality of that Beijing and other such countries, they are having the strict regulations and the conditions are strictly under control there. Like, but when we talk about our country and the action plans we are having, like we are observing that Delhi is suffering from this problem last few months, but still let's not talk about it more. Let's talk about the things that is mentioned in your syllabus for now. We can have a good discussion on this topic, right? On some other day. Let's do the remaining news articles for now, right? So recently we know about that COP30 happened in Belém, Brazil. Okay, so India was also the part of this, and India was observer for that TTTP particular TTT triple TF program. Okay, and India had a very good position there. Like we are able to achieve our target of NDC. Okay, that we had signed or that we had promised during the COP15 Paris Agreement. So we had a very good impression there. We mentioned our upcoming achievements and other things, right? So India welcomes key outcomes at UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention for Climate Change, Conference of Party 30, reaffirms commitment to equity, climate justice, and global solidarity. Okay. So recently, under the global goal on adaptation, India underscored the equity dimensions. Okay, so we mentioned about the equity dimensions of the decision, and it was also remarked by our country that a recognition of the overwhelming need for adaptation, like there's a need for adaptations in developing countries. Okay, and we also like recently I took one session where I had mentioned the key highlights. Like in the last class, I had mentioned about the key highlights of this particular conference. You have to watch that particular session. And one more session is available on YouTube where Payal ma'am has covered the key highlights of this COP30. Please go through all the points before exam. Okay, it is very, very important. Okay, and the key elements of India's address was emphasized on long-standing obligations of developed countries to provide climate finance. Like they are having good financial conditions, so they should provide the climate finance. And India also expressed satisfaction with major outcomes of COP30, foremost among them the establishment of just transition mechanism. Okay, so we feel that like whatever the outcomes come out of this conference, they are all in the favor of environment and in the favor, like now the time has come, like whatever the things we are having on paper, now the time has come to implement them. Okay, so India is satisfied with the major outcomes of this. Okay, and we had specifically mentioned about them, right? And India also thanked the presidency for delivering the space to discuss unilateral trade restrictive climate measures. Okay. And these measures are increasingly affecting all developing countries and are violative of the principles of equity. Okay. Like the countries who are already developed, who are taking the advantages of this. Na? So India also mentioned about it, and CBDRRC enshrined in the conventions and its Paris Agreement as well as it was also mentioned that the climate change mitigation, the burden of climate change mitigation is not shifted onto the shoulders of those who have the least responsibility in causing the problem. The need for greater global support to vulnerable populations, a large majority of whom are in the global south. Okay, see, whenever the situations will become more extreme, it happens now, the poor have to suffer the most. Although the situations are not created by the poor, but they are the one who suffer the most. Okay, so that's why it was also mentioned Okay, like situations are getting worse, so the burden should not go on the one who are the least responsible for all these kind of problems. Okay, now the need has arisen that the greater global support to vulnerable populations for these individuals, the global south had to be provided with the global support to deal with these kind of climate changes and the problems caused by the developed countries. And it happens in our economies also. When we talk about our country, we also observe that, okay, because of the specific measures, the rich is becoming richer and the poor is becoming poorer. Okay, so we should not try to stretch this gap, we should try to minimize or reduce this gap. Okay, so it was also one point discussed there. Is it clear to you guys? Right, now moving ahead, we have another important things to discuss. So India reaffirmed its unwavering commitment to science-based and equitable climate action. It was observed that India remains committed to, so what the global order was discussed during the COP15 agreement, during the Rio de Janeiro agreement, we are focused on the specific order. Okay, so India remain committed to a global order that it is rules based, equitable, and respectful of national sovereignty. Other nations should also be the part of it so religiously. And the nation remains committed to working with all parties to ensure that climate ambition is inclusive, just, and equitable. Okay, so there are so many new terms that comes out after this COP30 this year. Okay, so you should have the knowledge of these all these new terms that are like mentioned in this COP30, right? Now we have another important news article. So let's talk about this sixth International Agronomy Congress in more detail. So in the beginning, we discussed about the theme of it and the total India food grain production that was mentioned by DARE, the basically by the DG of ICR. Okay, now we are talking about it in detail. Okay, so this is a 3-day global event and it was started on 24th of November, ended on 26th of November. Okay, and it was organized by Indian Society of Agronomy. Okay, Indian Society of Agronomy plus ICAR plus IARI plus National Academy of Agricultural Science plus Trust for Advancement of Agriculture Science. Okay, so all these organizations are involved in organizing this International Agronomy Congress. Okay, and during that Congress, there were the scientists from different and important research institutions who were present during this Congress, and they were from the Food and Agriculture Organization, International Maize and Wheat Improvement Center, International Crops Research Institute for the Semi-Arid Crop. You know where it is located? It is in Hyderabad. Okay, International Rice Research Institute, International Center for Agricultural Research in the Dry Areas, ICARDA, and International Fertilizer Development Center. Please mention the name of these institutes in your notebook as well as where they are located, because there is a specific portion in your syllabus. Uh, Research institutions. Okay, so questions from research institutions can also be asked in your exam. That's why I mentioned the name of all these research institutes which are in news nowadays. Okay. Now, another. So during that Congress, when our Union Agriculture Minister Shri Sivraj Singh Chauhan he addressed the people who are there during the Congress, he mentioned that we need to focus upon creating a good foundation for our Viksit Bharat. That is, we are planning to be Viksit Bharat till 2047 when we will complete our 100 years of independence. Okay, and how we will be the developed or Viksit Bharat if we lies all our agriculture practices in a smart, sustainable, and profitable manner. Then only we'll be able to achieve all the objectives. Okay, agriculture must move towards producing more with fewer resources. Okay, as we are having the limited resources, so we need to manage all the resources so sustainably, so judicially, okay, so that we will get more out of them. And plus, we need to focus upon sustainable development also, that the resources will remain for the future generations also. And agronomy is a bridge. Agronomy is a subject where we talk about the field management, the scientific measures that we can include in our agriculture practices so that we will get the profitable results out of our agriculture practices. Okay, and he also emphasized on now the time has come, we need to optimize the soil health, water use efficiency, biodiversity, eco nutrition, and digital agriculture. Okay, so there are so many new terms. And other than that, during the same time, that International Agronomic Congress declaration was released by our Union Agriculture Minister, and that have these recommendations. So, what are the important recommendations mentioned in these declarations? Promotion of soil carbon sequestration and water efficient farming. Do you know the meaning of soil carbon sequestration? Yeah. The students who are there in the class, please let me know what is the meaning of soil carbon sequestration. Any idea? Please mention in the comment box. Carbon content in soil. Yes, basically, if our agriculture practices will be good, like what the carbon, like it is basically the residues, the dry leaf residues, and like it will be insequestrated or sink inside the soil. Then, okay, then it will help in making the organic matter content, okay, so that the soil so that the plant will utilize it from there. One point. Another is the plant are taking the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Okay, yeah, plants are taking the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and utilize it during the process of photosynthesis. Okay, so basically it is a sinking of the carbon into the soil in the inorganic form. Okay, carbon is going inside the soil into the form in the inorganic forms. And it is then it will further humify by the microorganisms there, and then it will be converted into the organic manure form, and then the plants are utilizing it. Okay, so all these processes are going on. Water efficient farming, we need to move towards the modern farming practices or the modern irrigation practices. Okay, scaling up AI based digital agriculture solutions and the Agri-Stack framework. So, this was also a recommendations. Mainstreaming natural and regenerative agricultural models, targeted innovation programs for youth and women farmers, next generation agronomy education at school and university levels, One Health Life Mission, and Net Zero 2070 aligned agricultural strategies, and global outreach of Indian climate smart agricultural models. Okay, why I'm emphasizing on all these recommendations? Because you might have some questions like which of the following are the key recommendations of the six international agronomy. See, make sure that your exam is on 20th of December this year. Okay. So, whatever the news, important news from August, September, October, and November, the current agriculture related news, they are very, very important. Before going for the examination, you have to cover the important news articles from these 4 months. Okay. Next is, yeah, and so these were the important points mentioned by our Union Agriculture Minister Shri Sivraj Singh Chauhan ji. Okay, so there's a Congress, other ministers will also be there. Okay, so at the same time, our Minister of State for Agriculture Shri Bhagirath Chaudhary, he said agronomy must become the solution to the real problems of the farmer. Field management is the need of the time, right? So that if we'll focus upon agronomy, it will help in enhancing the incomes of the farmer, environment security, as well as nutritional quality. Okay, he also talked about the innovations. Okay, so every field, whether in the dry lands of Rajasthan or the hill regions of Uttarakhand, every field should get the innovative ideas. Okay, and he also stressed upon the rain-fed agriculture, natural resource management, women's participation, youth-led innovations, and strengthening rural micro enterprises. Okay, so he mentioned about all these things, right? Now, another important point. So these are the 10 thematic symposia during the Congress. Okay, and they have the scientific presentation. So during this Congress, all the scientific presentations were around these 10 thematic symposium. One is a climate resilient agriculture and carbon neutral farming. See, please either take a screenshot of this slide or highlight these points in your notes, because these points will be directly or indirectly asked in your descriptive examination, like what is a like what you feel or what you understand by the term climate resilient agriculture. Okay, what is carbon neutral farming? Okay, so these are the direct questions. Nature based solution and One Health. Precision input management and resource efficiency, that is a precision farming. Harnessing genetic potential. Energy efficient machinery, digital solutions, and post harvest management. Nutrition sensitive agriculture and eco nutrition. Gender empowerment and livelihood diversification. Agriculture 5.0, next generation education, and Viksit Bharat at 2047. Young scientists and students conferences. Okay, so these are the 10 thematic symposium during the Congress. Okay, and yeah, it was also mentioned like these discussions will be around towards the Sustainable Development Goal 1, Goal 2, Goal 15, Goal 13, and Goal 15 through agronomy. So it can be a question like Indian Agriculture Congress, the sixth International Agriculture Congress. Okay, they are mentioning about which of the following sustainable development goals. So they are mentioning about 1, 2, 12, 13, and 15, right? And at the same time, our Secretary of DARE and Director General of ICR, Dr. Mangilal Jadji, he also mentioned that India's agronomy research is leading global climate smart agriculture. Okay, and if all these practices will be followed properly, so definitely we will be able to contribute to ICR Vision 2000, right? So this is all about this particular event. Now we have another important events to discuss about. So recently what has happened, the Department of Agriculture, Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying. Okay, so they organized National Consultation Workshop. Okay, so there was a consultation workshop organized on veterinary bio-waste management for sustainable livestock and okay, so it is about like whatever the livestock populations that you are raising. So definitely they will also produce the waste. Okay, so now the time has come, like we need to talk about like how to waste that, how to manage that waste. Okay, so that veterinary bio waste will be managed properly so that it will not cause any negative impact on the health of the livestock populations that you are raising. Okay, so we are moving towards a side like we need to look for some solutions to deal with this problem. Okay, so uh, they organized this particular summit and it was organized on 24th of November. Okay, and under the pandemic fund project, animal health security strengthening in India for pandemic preparedness and response. Okay, like we know now that if we are raising the populations of cattle, okay, we need to dispose the cattle cow dung cakes either in our field as a organic manure or we need to look for certain solutions. Similarly, if we are raising the poultry farms, we need to look for the solution like where we can dump that bio waste. Okay, so that's why this national consultation workshop was organized. Okay, where all these issues were discussed. Okay, so Shri Naresh Pal Gangwar, who is he? He's the secretary of Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying. Okay, so he mentioned about the importance of biogas, Like we can use this particular cow dung cakes and the waste materials of our cattles, okay, uh, for the generation of biogas. Okay, and it can also be used as a bio manure at household levels and as well at the community levels. Okay, and they also mention about the efforts for scaling up its potential through carbon finance linkages. So if any community and any household want to be involved in these practices of biogas generations, they have to like prepare or construct that particular setup, that particular biogas plant. So for this, what they need, they will need the financial help. Okay, so it was also mentioned that carbon finance linkages, which can help them to provide all the resources or all the inventories needed for the construction of these biogas plants. Okay, and as well as you also mentioned that there's a need that we need to focus upon robust livestock and biomedical waste management systems. Otherwise, what will happen? Will not be able to handle the waste. Okay, there's a need to have some scientific waste handling practices, regulatory compliances, and innovative scalable solutions which are aligned with One Health preparedness. Yeah, it is a serious problem. Now, like if you are raising the population of livestock in your area, if uh, you are generating a lot of waste at the same time, and if you will not dispose the waste at the right place at the right time, it can pose a lot of health problems to the people who are dealing with them on a regular basis. And because of the waste dumped at one specific places for a long period of time, it can give birth to the mosquitoes. Okay, it can cause health issues or that respiratory related issues to the people who are living in that particular area. And if we are using this that gobar for making the oplas and burning them for cooking purposes, it can release carbon dioxide gas in the atmosphere. Okay, and that can also cause health related issues. So there's a need to have some robust livestock and biomedical waste management systems. Otherwise, things get worse in the future, right? So that's why this national consultation workshop was held, so that all the important dignitaries come ahead to talk about the solutions that we need to talk, right, that we need to take to deal with these problems in future. Okay, so here I had mentioned about some important names. Okay, these names are important. Just go through the names, and I had mentioned like what we are talking about, we need to talk about. So this was a consultation workshop, so everyone discussed about that. Okay, they can do in their part to deal with the things. Okay, so broadly the key outcomes. So when this consultation workshop was over, these were the key outcomes that come ahead. There's a need to develop a comprehensive national action plan or guidelines. There's a need to have improved infrastructure and capacities, taking the good practices at field level for adoption. Okay, and as well as the participants committed to closer intersectoral coordination and continue technical collaborations under this pandemic fund project to strengthen national system for sustainable veterinary and livestock waste management. So they also invited the different individuals. They can come ahead and they will discuss about these issues and what can be the possible solutions to deal with all these issues. They can come ahead to discuss about the solutions also. Okay, so this consultation workshop give a space to everyone, like they can come ahead to discuss about the issues. Now another important news. So why I'm discussing this particular news? This is a very small, or we can say a very short news here. So what is it? The news is about like financial assistance for setting up food testing laboratories. Okay, so like this is a only news. Okay, so Ministry of Food Processing Industries, it has started inviting proposals from eligible prospective entrepreneurs. Okay, like they come ahead so that they can come ahead and they can participate. Okay, they can bring their proposals, okay, for food testing laboratories, and all these food testing laboratories will get their accreditation from, this is important, like they will get their accreditation from NABL. Okay, and it will be under the food safety and quality assurance infrastructure. And this is a component of Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana. Okay, so there are some important terms mentioned in the news, and you should know like who is uh, appreciating this, like who is giving the accreditation to this food testing laboratories. So they will get the accreditations by NAB. Okay, and it will be under the food safety and quality assurance component of Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana. Okay, now let's come ahead with the next important news article. Right, so let's talk about this news article. So what it is about. So recently, third advanced estimates of area and production of horticultural crops is released. Okay, so this advanced estimate report is having a lot of important data in it. Okay, so Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan releases the third advanced estimate. Okay, advanced estimate of area and production both for different horticulture crops. Okay, and it is for the year 2024-25. So first important thing, it was observed that as per this third advanced estimate, this is important. Okay, so if we look at the area of horticulture crops, so it has increased by 0.4 million hectare. Okay, so in the last year it was 29.086 million hectare, and now it is 29.488 million hectares. One data. Another is if we talk about the total production. So last year it was 354.744. Sorry, this year it is 354.744 million tons. Okay. And last year it was 369.05. So you need to learn the latest data. It is important. And how it is possible, like how we will be able to achieve these results because of the schemes which are focusing upon the use of superior seeds, adoption of modern technologies, improved market access. Okay, and because of all these things we are getting the good productivity and profitability in horticulture. Okay, and we had observed the good records for fruits and vegetables also. So what are the data for fruits? So fruit production has also increased by about 5.12%, and now it is 118.76 million tons, and major contributors are banana, mango, watermelon, jackfruit, mandarin, papaya, and guava. Right, and if we talk about the vegetable, so if I'm mentioning this data 354.744, 354.744. Okay, so from this data, million tons, 118.76 million ton is contributed by fruits, right? And vegetables has contributed 215.684 million tons. Okay, so here also it is clear like vegetable contribution is more. And recently we discussed one question also. Last year also the vegetable contribution was more than the fruits contribution. Okay, and if we look at the vegetables who are contributing in this, so onion production is expected to register an impressive. So onion production was high. Okay, so it has shown a impressive increase of 26.88%, and the rest of the contribution is by rest of the production contribution by the other horticultural crops, which includes the spices and the condiments and the flowers as well. And potato also too is expected to grow by 1.85%, and that was the potatoes contribution. Okay, and if we look at the aromatic plants and the medicinal plants, so it has reached to 0.781 million tons, right? So it has also shown an improvement. And if we talk about the total spices production, it was 12.703 million tons and majorly contributed by garlic, ginger, and turmeric. Okay, and if we look at the last year, it was 12.484 million. Tomato production has also shown an increase, so it was a value for the tomato production, right? And that's how it was also mentioned that we are able to give a good production in the horticulture sector. Okay, and definitely it will support the farmers, like farmers income will improve, their standard of living will improve, and the major regions that we are able to get the good production in the horticulture sector, it is because of the high quality seeds and improved market management. Okay, we are able to follow the new guidelines, and we are having that enam, we are having that digital agriculture mission, and because of which we are able to get good production in the horticulture sector this year. And it is all possible because of uh, the visionary leadership of our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, who is focusing on developing our agriculture. Okay, now this is all about this particular uh, that advanced estimate, third advanced estimate. Okay, please go through all these datas before exam. Now moving on the next important news. So recently, so this is also a very short news. So request for proposal for conducting study on post harvest losses of agri produce in India. Okay, so I had mentioned two important news article. One is for the labs and another is for the study on post harvest losses of agri produce in India. So Ministry of Food Processing Industries is inviting applications for from reputed consulting firms or expert institutions that they can come ahead and they can do the study, like how much we are like losing because of the post harvest, we are not having the enough and the good post harvest practices. So all the applications are invited by Ministry of Food Processing and Industry. Okay, so this is one important news. Another important news, now we have another important news. So recently on 26th of November, what we had the National Milk Day. Okay, so on this special occasion, Basic Animal Husbandry Statistics 2025 was released. This is a very important news article. Although if it would be possible for me, I'll take a specific session related to this also, but I'm covering it here for you guys. Okay, if it will, I will not be having the enough time to do it separately, but I'm covering it here, and I'm providing you the notes also related to all this data. Okay, so you can check on my Telegram as well. There also you will get the notes of all these portions. Make sure you will do this before exam. If after exam you guys are about to say, ma'am, you haven't covered it, so I'll not tolerate it, right? Because I'm covering it here. Okay, so please do the revision from here. So, Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairy and Panchayat Raj, who is he? Is Professor S.P. Singh Baghel. He released the annual publication of Basic Animal Husbandry Statistics 2025 of Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying, and it was released on the occasion of National Milk Day on 26th of November 2025. Okay, so and at the same time, Shri George Kurian was also there, and Shri Naresh Pal Gangwar was also there. Okay, and that at the same time, the basic animal husbandry statistics was released. All the data were discussed, and this particular basic animal husbandry statistic 2025. Okay, so important documents published under it. So it is based on the outcomes of the integrated sample survey conducted for the period from 1st of March 2024 to 29th of Feb 2020. So data available in this basic animal husbandry statistics is from this duration of 1 year. Okay, and this survey unique in the country generates crucial data on the production. So this survey is providing us the data on the production estimates of major livestock products, MLPs, major livestock products. So what are the major livestock products? Like milk, eggs, meat and wool. Okay, so all the data related to these major livestock products are mentioned in this report. Okay, so let's talk about them. And also it is having the valuable data on veterinary hospitals, polyclinics, gaushalas, state farms and other infrastructure details which are important. Why? Because in our livestock populations, to get the good uh, populations which is having the good genetic potential, we are going for the artificial insemination practices. Okay, so there's a need to have all the data related to the veterinary hospitals, gaushalas, and other where all these practices are carried forward. Okay, now so details are as follows. So we will talk about major livestock products. So they are milk, egg, meat, and wool production. Okay, so yeah. So we'll talk about all these things on the results of integrated sample survey which is conducted. So during these three seasons, summer season, rainy season, and winter season, surveys were done and data were produced. Right. So when we talk about the milk production data, so we are at the first position in milk production, right? So if we look at the data for our 2024-25 duration, the milk production data was 247.87 million tons, right? And the per capita availability has increased from 319 gram per day in 2014-15 to, and now the capita per capita availability of milk is 485 grams per day. Okay, this is another important data. And if we look at the major milk producing states, so first number is by UP, then Rajasthan, then MP, then Gujarat, and after that Maharashtra. Clear? Okay. And others contribute remaining 54.09%. Right? And if we talk about the milk production from exotic or crossbred, so it has increased by 4.97%. Indigenous or nondescript cattle by 3.751%. And milk production from buffaloes has increased by 2.42% as compared to the previous year data. So you can see this is a graph. Okay. So this is a per capita consumption of milk like 485 gram per day. Is it clear to you guys? Now, moving ahead, if we talk about the egg production, so India is second largest in egg production, right? So, if we talk about the total egg production in the country, it is 149.11 billion numbers during 2014-15, right? And per capita, if we talk about availability of egg increased from 62 numbers per annum to 106 numbers of eggs are available to us in a year. So earlier it was 62 and now it has increased to this. And if we talk about the major contributors, so Andhra Pradesh is on the top, then followed by Tamil Nadu, then followed by Telangana, after that West Bengal, and then Karnataka. This is important, right? Now you can see the table here. Is a table. This is a table. This is a graph you can see here. 106 numbers of eggs are available per individual in a year. Clear this thing? Now moving ahead, we have meat production data. So we are in the meat production, we are at the fourth position. Okay, and if we talk about the total meat production, it is 10.50 million tons, right? And it is from poultry. The highest of the meat production is from poultry, that is 5.18 million tons. So nearly 50% is contributed by the poultry animals. And if we talk about the top five states, so West Bengal, then UP, then Maharashtra, then Andhra Pradesh, and then Telangana. They contribute the rest, right? So it is 10.50 million tons and 7.50 per capita availability. 7.50 kg available per capita per annum. Got it? Now, if we talk about the wool production, so it is estimated as 34.57 million kg during 2024-25. And if we talk about like which state has contributed more, so highest contribution by Rajasthan, after it by Jammu and Kashmir, then by Gujarat, then by Maharashtra, and at the end by Himachal Pradesh, right? And the states account for substantial 85.98% of the total's wool output. Okay, so these states are dealing in this in the like maximum of. Okay, chalo. So is it clear to you? Give me a thumbs up if all these things are clear to you. Now we are going to discuss about the first advanced estimates of Kharif crop production for 2025-26. Look at the year. In the beginning, we talk about the horticulture production, and that was a third advance estimate. Okay, and now we are talking for the last year it was mentioned, and now we're talking about the first advance estimate of Kharif production for 2025-26. So recently, rice and wheat that we had harvested, right? So we are talking about all these crops here. Okay, so this is a last important news from this particular week. Mention in the comment that are you getting all these things, okay, or you are getting any confusion anywhere? Yeah, please mention. Is everything clear to you guys? All these datas are very, very important. So moving ahead, give me a thumbs up if the things are clear. So you can see here. So recently we had this data. Okay, this data is also important. So what we can see that the total food grain production, basically the major Kharif crop is about to produce 173.33 million tons. Okay, and that is because of the Kharif rice and maize, right? And according to the first advance estimate for this year, Kharif rice production is estimated at 124.504 million tons. Okay, and if we talk about 3.495 million tons more than the previous year Kharif maize production. So Kharif rice and Kharif maize has shown the highest values this year, right? And if we talk about the first advance estimates total, Kharif coarse cereal was 41.414 million tons, and total Kharif pulses production at 7.413 million tons. So we are estimating the Kharif rice, Kharif maize, Kharif cereals, Kharif coarse cereals, and Kharif pulses. Okay, we have the data related to all this. And if we talk about the tur production, so it is estimated at 3.597 million tons, urad at 1.205 million tons, and moong at 1.720 million. Okay, and oilseed production is 27.563 million. Okay, peanuts production is ditna. And if we talk about the soybean, so we are talking about kharif rice, maize, pulses, coarse cereals, peanuts, oil seeds, and soya bean. Okay, please mention this in your notebook, right? So it is clear to you. Now, if we talk about the sugar cane, so sugar cane, cotton, they are calculated in a different manner. We know about it. Is it clear? So sugarcane production, we are having the FRP, fair and remunerative prices for the sugar canes. So its production is estimated at 475.614 million tons. Cotton production is estimated at 29.212 million bales, right? And Patson and Mesta is estimated at 8.345 million. So there are total 14 Kharif crops. Okay, so for all the 14 Kharif crops, data is here for you guys. Is it clear? Now, this is the last news article. So I'm mentioning it because I felt like that this is also important. That's why it's a need to do this one also. So government has approved Tex-RAMPS. So if you are not aware about the term from which particular subject it has taken or which is related with this, you will not be able to answer the question. So Tex-RAMPS, it is a scheme. Okay, and this scheme is come forward to strengthen research, innovations, and competitiveness in textile sector. Okay, so this one, what is the full form of Tex-RAMP? Textile, focus, research, assessment, monitoring, planning, and startup. Okay, and that is basically in textile sector, right? And the total outlays, the total budget outlay for this scheme is rupees 305 crore, and that is from 2025-26 to 2030-31. Okay, so this is important, and it's a central sector scheme fully funded by the Ministry of Textiles, right? And some important points are also there related to this scheme. So these are the key components of this scheme. So please go through these components as well. Just a second, I'm mentioning you. Research and innovations, data analytics and diagnostic, integrated textile statistical system, and another are capacity development and knowledge ecosystem, and startups and innovation supports. Okay, so these are the key components of this scheme. Please do mention about this scheme in your notebook because it is recently launched scheme, centrally sponsored scheme, centrally fully sponsored scheme, and it is from 2025-26 to 2030-31, and we had a specific budget allocation for this scheme also. Recently mentioned all these points, right? Now, what are the expected outcomes, like why this scheme is launched? So it is expected, like if this scheme will work well, it will enhance our competitiveness in global markets. It will strengthen our research and innovation ecosystem. It will improve our data driven policy making, generate employment opportunities, and foster deeper collaborations between states, industry, academia, and government institutions. And this scheme marks a significant step towards building a resilient, future ready, and globally competitive textile ecosystem for India. That's all about today's important news article. Yeah. Uh, Actually, I'll prefer to upload. You want me to upload with the ink annotations. You will not be able to get the, because somewhere I had highlighted a lot. Okay, so you will not be able to get the sentence which is below it. Okay, so that's why what I will do, I'll upload the PDF without the ink annotations. That will be more helpful for you guys because there's a lot of datas in today's class, and if you will miss any data because of my extra scratching on some letters, you will not be able to understand it. Okay, huh? Yeah, you can watch the class, and with the help of it you can do the ink annotations by yourself on. Okay, so that is enough for today. I'm ending the session for now. Today's class, and there are so many important things happened in the last week, right? So please mention all these things in notebook. Yeah, and tomorrow also you guys will have your class. Okay, on Saturday I'm taking your October month compilation at 10 a.m. in the morning. So make sure you guys will attend that particular session. Okay. So bye bye, and you can have the notes from my Telegram also. That is Varsha Dhiman, and here's the end of the session. Thank you.